Welcome back to the African Streamline, and thank you for being here. This is something that people need to know. Sometimes you think we're hyping Ibrahim Traore for nothing, or sometimes you think maybe we just want people to know you're talking about Ibrahim Traore, or we are just here because we want views, or we want people to watch us. No, it's not. It's not just that. We have a reason, a specific reason as to why we are hyping Ibrahim Traore. Now, I want to take you down to some 1, 2, 3 things here, and I hope you'll be following me. This is Ibrahim Traore at his prime. Ibrahim Traore at his prime, and in Africa we have leaders who talk, who chest thump, and they speak a lot of things, they make a lot of noise. But when we want to look now at what are you doing before talking, because speaking and doing things are different things, are two different things, because acting and speaking, two different. We want to see you speaking and see you acting. Ibrahim Traore has passed all African leaders by over 80%. Like, we might say maybe African leaders are at 20%, when Ibrahim Traore himself is at around 80%. When African leaders, all of them combined, they are at 20%. Because you realize there is one thing that Ibrahim Traore has done that every other African leader who is existing today, or who is in the office today, has not been able to do. Which means Ibrahim Traore has appeared to be the only person who has done the same thing. So Ibrahim Traore is far away from all African leaders that we are having today. Now, when Burkina Faso, when Ibrahim Traore got into her office, he had a lot of things in mind, and he knew, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 things to make sure I'm going to change Burkina Faso, and I'm going to change Africa. How is he going to change Africa? Ibrahim Traore expects every other African leader to watch what he's doing, and they follow, because these are grown-ups. These are people who they are mature, and they hear people talking, they hear citizens talking. Therefore, they are supposed to do what they are being asked to do. They're supposed to do what people are demanding from them. They're supposed to be held accountable, to be responsible, because it is a mandate they have been given. They are not in office because they were they are people supposed to be there. No, they are there because it is a mandate that people gave to them, an assignment, so they should deliver. Okay, and Ibrahim Traore was not voted by people into the government. Ibrahim Traore, he was around watching how people are doing things, and deep down himself, he was feeling like these people are doing things in the wrong way. I think if I can get to that point, if I can get to that seat, I will do better. Okay, because he had the interests of people inside him. He has the humanity inside him. African leaders that we are having today, they are not humans. They are very much inhuman. Sorry to say that, but they are inhuman. Why? Because if you can see people struggling, suffering, people are crying, and you cannot attend to them, you cannot, people, like, for example, a child is crying at the street because, number 1, no food. Number 2, no school fees. Number 4, no work to do. Like, there is nothing he can do. He's on the street there, roaming around, nowhere to go. Because if you can see people suffering, or you people in your country are crying because of anger. Children are in the streets, they cannot go to school. There is no money to take them to schools. Parents are struggling. They cannot even feed their children because there is no food. The economy is bad. There is no jobs. Youths are struggling out here. To an extent, they have to go on the road to start demonstrating, fighting for their rights. And what you can do best is to command your policemen in uniform to take the guns and start shooting them. That is being inhuman. Nobody who is human can do that. You cannot say, because like here in Kenya, people are being killed on the street. People are killed. You see someone being shot by the police, lying down there. The fellow youths come and carry you. They put you alongside the road. They continue demonstrating, and people are being killed like you're shot, without mercilessly. That means you are inhuman. Okay, and being inhuman. The reason you're being inhuman, and you are the same person who has created a problem. Okay, you're the same person who has created a problem. Okay, you see. Now, what makes Ibrahim Traore so special from all this? What makes him so special? For quite some time, Africa has stuck. And the reason why Africa has stuck, it's because we've had leaders who does not want to do things in the right way. Okay? So Africa has stuck. It's not because they cannot do it. They can't do it, but they're very ignorant, they're very greedy, and they're very corrupt. Listen to this. In a span of 2 years, Ibrahim Traore has been able to raise Burkina Faso GDP from $18.8 billion to $22.1 billion in 2 years. Not many years, in 2 years. I want you to listen to me very well. $18.8 billion to $22.1 billion. In how many years? 2 years. That is Ibrahim Traore we're talking about. So if you see us talking about Ibrahim Traore, we're not talking about Ibrahim Traore because we want views on our channels. No, we're not talking about Ibrahim Traore because we just love him, or rather we are selfish to other people. Like we can't talk about it. We just have self-love for him. No, we're not talking about Ibrahim Traore because maybe like we are I don't know, how do I call it. It's not because maybe we just love him, we hate others. No, it's not because we hate others. It's not about that. It's about what he is doing. It's about the work that Ibrahim Traore has subjected himself in. If you want people to raise you, if you want people to praise you, if you want people to recognize you, you need to start doing right, because the only way people can recognize you is by doing right. Go everywhere, especially in diaspora and in the whole of Africa. People are talking about Ibrahim Traore. What is your problem? Come on, start doing right so that I can be able to talk about you. Stop complaining of how we're talking about Ibrahim Traore all the time. Oh, we go to YouTube channels, we can only find Ibrahim Traore. Who else do you want us to talk about? We're talking about people who are ready to work for people. Number 2, Ibrahim Traore has rejected loans from the International Monetary Funds and the World Bank. And this is what Ibrahim Traore says. Ibrahim Traore says, Africa can manage itself. Africa does not need IMF. Africa does not need World Bank to be able to sustain itself, or rather to be able to make itself stand. It's the stability of Africa does not depend on the IMF and World Bank. Listen, today as we are talking, recently, before Ibrahim Traore came into power, Burkina Faso and Mali and Niger were amongst the countries that were rated amongst the last countries, amongst the poor countries in Africa. Okay, the last 10, they were amongst the last 10 countries who are most poor in Africa. As we are talking today, without fear of contradiction. And let me tell you something. When people are going to do these analysis, the analytics of this issue that I'm talking about, when they're going to do the ratings, I'm telling you, if they don't put Burkina Faso amongst the top 5 countries in Africa that are very that have grown right now, I'm telling you, that list will have some corrupt issues. Because let me tell you something. As we're talking today, Burkina Faso is having a modern hospital. We don't need to go to India to get treatment. We can go to Burkina Faso and get the treatment we want. I'm telling you. Burkina Faso today, as we're talking, they have a tomato industry. They don't import tomato pastes. They make their own right now. Listen. All these things are happening with the money that is collected within the country. The tax that is being collected within the country, not outside the country, not the IMF, not the World Bank. Burkina Faso is leading itself. Burkina Faso is running itself using the money that is being collected from the country, the tax from the people, and the money that they're generating within the boundaries of Burkina Faso, not from the IMF, not from the World Bank. And even with that, Burkina Faso has still emerged to overwhelm or overcome all these other countries in Africa that are going to IMF every morning, going to World Bank every day, so that they can be able to get money. Burkina Faso has gone far away from them. Ha! Do you trust me on that? You will trust me on that. That's the truth. And if the ratings are done today, if Burkina Faso is not placed amongst the top 5 countries, there is a problem. there is a problem. Because let me tell you something. Right now, nobody else would want to see Burkina Faso being placed at a very high or a best position. Why? Because every African leader, they are struggling and they are walking around spreading the gospel of Ibrahim Traore is a bad leader. Ibrahim Traore is a bad leader. So people out here would not want Ibrahim Traore to be seen that he is actually the best leader in Africa today. Because these other African leaders are the puppets who are their masters. The Western leaders are their masters. So they are serving their masters, okay? So they will tell their masters, you know what? This guy, if he comes into the limelight, or rather, if he comes into the light and a lot of people begin seeing him, we will have no value to the people anymore. People will dump us, of which we have already dumped them, and they will go to Ibrahim Traore, of which we have already gone to Ibrahim Traore. So even if you try an attempt of the sort right now, it's like you're doing nothing, okay? So that is what they might do. Number 3, Ibrahim Traore has been able to reduce the salaries of the ministers and increased the salaries of the servants. Unlike African politicians, African leaders, who they increase the salaries of the ministers and even employing more ministers into the government, creating spaces for ministers into the government so that many people can come to the government and get paid. And you know, when I give you a work, like for example in Kenya, when President Ruto gives you a work to come into the government and serve in the government, you sign some contracts, you have some agreements. He tells you, you're coming here, but this job that I'm giving you, the money you get, if it's 100,000, 50% for me, 50% for you. See, you are jobless right now. Are you jobless? Yes, I'm jobless. Now, I'm giving you this job for free. But your money, 50% comes to me, 50% goes to you. So they end up creating spaces for people out here to come into the government so they can be able to continue stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing. Because when they come to Kenya, they will tell Kenyans, we have this number of ministers. So we are paying this number of ministers. So we Kenyans, we will believe, oh, we have too many ministers, so money is not enough. But it is mind games. They are playing mind games. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore knows one thing. If there are people who are supposed to be paid more than other people are public servants, those are the people who are supposed to be paid more because they are serving people. But ministers, their work is to work with the luxurious things and big cars and all those sorts of things. At the end of the day, there is nothing they are doing. Their work is just to steal money in the government and to be corrupt, and at the end of the day, they are being paid. So our taxes end up paying ministers, and we lack money at the end of the day. When you want to build roads, we have to go to the IMF. When you want to build schools, we have to go to World Bank. When you want to build hospitals, we have to go to IMF. When you want to buy medicines, we have to go to World Bank. We can't have money on our own selves. Recently, Kenya has been into a crisis where hospitals did not have vaccines. And that one cannot be talked about. People can't talk about it out here. But the truth is that in Kenya, we have had a crisis where hospitals don't have vaccines. But hospitals don't have vaccines, and at the end of the day, you realize that we want ministers are being employed. This money that is being used to pay ministers, why can't that money be used to build schools, to build roads, and to buy vaccines, to buy medicines to the hospitals? Those money are supposed to be used in something else more better. So Ibrahim Traore has increased the salary of the public servants because he knows public servants are the people who can make even the country grow better than the ministers. That's number 3 achievement. Number 4 achievement, he has paid off Burkina Faso debt. In Africa today, countries that have paid debt, the foreign debt, are very few, and Burkina Faso is among those countries. They're not more than 5; they're less than 5, and Burkina Faso is amongst those countries. Considering the fact that Burkina Faso has been considered quite recently one of the poorest countries in Africa, but one of the poorest countries in Africa under the prime, the captain, the king himself, Ibrahim Traore, has been able to pay the loans of Burkina Faso. Number 5, he has established 2 tomato processing plants, the first ever in Burkina Faso. They have never had one in Burkina Faso. It is the first one. And here in Africa, I don't think if there is any other tomato processing plant in Africa. Maybe it is only in Burkina Faso. If there is any other in Africa, tell me in the comment section. Let me know, because I've not been able to see that. Most of the times in Africa, we've been importing tomato paste. Even in Kenya, we are importing tomato paste. In Uganda, in Tanzania, I know they're importing tomato paste. In Nigeria, they're importing tomato paste. So I don't know if there is any other country in Africa that has the tomato manufacturing industry. Tell me in the comment section if there is. That's a greatest achievement from Ibrahim Traore. Number 5. In 2023, he inaugurated a state-of-the-art gold mine to enhance local processing capabilities. Now, as I said earlier, in Africa is where we mine gold. In Africa is where we mine diamond. In Africa is where we mine copper, we mine iron, we mine cobalt, we mine diatomite, we mine salt, we mine... Like, in Africa is where we have a lot of mining. But the same Africa is where you cannot find even one store that reserves all these things we are mining. But instead, you find these stores that are reserving these things you are mining in the West and in Europe. Okay, that is where you can find them. But here in Africa, we don't even have a single one. But we are the same people who have a lot of mining, stock of gold, stock of diamonds, stock of all these things. Okay, so recently, Ibrahim Traore had to create and to build a gold reserve bank, which means every gold that is mined in Burkina Faso, it is manufactured in Burkina Faso, and it's refined in Burkina Faso, and it is stored in Burkina Faso. Okay, it is not being taken anywhere else. It remains in Burkina Faso. That's a great achievement, because you realize it is only in Burkina Faso where we have a gold reserve bank in the whole of Africa. Only in Burkina Faso. It is the first ever to be seen in Africa. Number 7, he stopped the export of unrefined Burkina Faso gold to Europe. This is what Ibrahim Traore says. Traore said, I'm mining gold in my own land. This gold comes from my own land. What am I going to do? What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to keep this gold within myself. Okay, I will mine this gold from my land. I will refine and manufacture it from my land and keep it in my own land, because it has to benefit my own people. The issues of mining gold, and when it is still unrefined, you transport them to Europe to go and refine them from there, and then they begin selling it to Africa. They begin selling it even to Burkina Faso itself. Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore said no to that. And it's a very great achievement, because now Africa will start keeping their minerals, keeping their properties, keeping their resources for themselves. And at the end of the day, these properties are going to actually rebuild ourselves and raise our economies as African people. Number 8. Burkina Faso, he built Burkina Faso's second cotton processing plant. Previously, the country had only one. So the country had one cotton processing plant, and he has added another one, which means he is a man who is up to building and up to developing a country, up to satisfying people, up to making people a living up to their standards. That is what this man is up to. He's a man on a mission. He is a man on a mission, and soon his mission is going to be accomplished. Ibrahim Traore to the world. Now, number 8 achievement. He opened the first ever National Support Center for artisanal cotton processing to assist local farmers. Now, let me give a short story. In Kenya, we have what we call sugarcane company. Sugar company. We have a sugar company, a factory that produces sugar. So we plant sugarcane, and then we're having a sugarcane company, a sugar company. Now, this sugar company that I'm talking about today, as we are talking, it's not functioning. Why is it not functioning? It's not functioning because we had people who are corrupt. Were the people who are managing the Mumias Sugar Company. So this Mumias Sugar Company was managed by people who were corrupt. And what happened at the end of the day? What happened at the end of the day is that the leaders who were in government, including the president and many other people who were in government, they didn't even cared about the mismanagement of the company. So the company ended up failing because of mismanagement, because people who were there were very corrupt. All the money that would come in, they used to put it in their pockets. And that is what is happening in Africa. Okay, and at the end of the day, Mumia's sugar company had to fall. Now that Mumia's sugar company had to fall, now farmers who used to plant sugarcane, they don't have anywhere to take sugarcane anymore. And even if they supply sugarcane to Mumia's sugar company, they are not paid. So in Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore has enhanced the payment of the people, of the farmers who are planting cotton. As much as he has built a cotton factory, a cotton processing plant, he has also put in some measures and ways to make sure farmers who are planting coffee are going, planting cotton are also going to benefit in one way or the other, because they are farmers. They also need to be encouraged and to be not to be discouraged, so they can continue planting the cotton that they are planting every day. So Ibrahim Traore makes sure that those people are being paid immediately. They deliver their cotton to the factory, which is very awesome, which is very wonderful. That was so brave of Ibrahim Traore, because we don't want to make people suffer. People of your own country, don't make them suffer, because they're helping you to build your country. Make them strong, give them a good life, so that it will be easy for you to build your country. Number 10, he banned the wearing of British wigs. The British wigs that they used to wear in local courts, and introduce traditional Burkinabe attire. Now, we are turning around completely. We are revolving Africa completely. We are liberating Africa completely. This means we are looking forward to do away with everything that is not an African. Talk about the wigs, talk about their cultures, talk about like everything. In fact, the issues of democracy that was brought to us by the West, we need to abolish that thing and stop using it. We need to go back to the kingship. We used to be led by kings a long time ago. Yeah, we need to go back to kingship. These issues of having presidents who are misleading us and using us to benefit themselves, it is something we need to abolish. We need to go back to where we were being led by the sons of Koitalel, Arabs, the Khoikhoi and the San, the Mekatilili wa Menza, like in Kenya. Those are the leaderships I know in Kenya. The Mekatilili wa Menza, Khoikhoi and the San, Koitalel, and which another one? And those ones, even in your countries, you know them. We have the Buganda Kingdom in Uganda. We also had the them, mention them. That is how we used to govern ourselves a long time ago. And that is how we used to live a long time ago. Therefore, we need to go back there. We need to go back to that point. We need to retrain our cultures. We need to restrain our cultures. Take them back and start working in our cultures, because we were very peaceful when we used to do our culture, to do things in an African cultural way, in an African way. We were very peaceful until a white man came to Africa. That is when everything went a mess. That is when that is where the problem began from. And you know what? We don't need it. We need to be Africans and live like Africans. I hope you're following me, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. That is what we are supposed to do. Let's keep going. Now, achievement number. So Ibrahim Traore is doing very good actually for abolishing these things, because we want to cut ties with the British. Like, we want to cut ties completely. We live like Africans and they live like them. We are even going to take our black men who are in diaspora. Our black Africans, we want them to come back to their motherland. That's why we want to see them. The issues of taking black people from Africa to go to build your nations, we are not working with that, and we don't want that. Number 11, he prioritized agriculture by distributing over. Wow, this is wonderful. Listen, Ibrahim Traore prioritized agriculture, and he had to deliver to the farmers 400 tractors, 239 trailers, 710 motor pumps, 714 motorcycles, to boost production and support rural stakeholders. Now, the problem when it comes to farming in Africa, this is the problem when it comes to farming in Africa. People who are in the rural areas are the ones who are doing farming. People in urban areas are not doing farming because in urban areas we don't have lands. Okay, so people in urban areas, we have those who are doing white collar jobs here and there and these other small jobs, okay, employed. But when you go back to the rural areas, that is where we do farming. And those people, most of the times, they are doing farming in small scale lands. So in these small scale lands, they might not be able to produce a lot. Okay, they can only maybe produce a few for the family and all that. But Ibrahim Traore wants to advance, to enhance farming, to make the level of to take back, like to bring high, to take high the rate of production, to increase the rate of production. That is what Ibrahim Traore wants, and therefore he knows, I cannot increase the rate of production if I am not going to do what is required of me. In Kenya, President William Ruto wanted to do the same thing. He had the same mind of boosting and increasing the rate of production in Kenya through farming. What did he do? He said, I am going to provide a cheap fertilizer. That is what he said. And everybody said, if you're going to provide a cheap fertilizer, oh yeah, that is good. Because Kenyans have never come in contact with the cheap fertilizer another time. They used to use just expensive fertilizer that has been always there. But let me tell you something. This cheap fertilizer that was provided by President William Ruto was even worse than the expensive fertilizer. That is when I knew cheap is always expensive. This man lied to people. Okay, he lied to people. He told them, I'm going to give you cheap fertilizer, but at the end of the day, whatever he was given to them was not cheap fertilizer. It was very bad fertilizer. It was fake fertilizer. People couldn't use it. When they were using it, their maize couldn't grow. Their crops could not even grow. Their crops were just weak. It destroyed everything. So everybody who went and ran for the cheap fertilizer, they ended up regretting. Those who decided to go for expensive fertilizer are the ones who benefited. But those who went for cheap fertilizer, they ended up regretting. Okay? Ruto was doing that because he was trying to blindfold people, not because he wanted to help people. Look at what Traore is doing. Traore has given, and you know cheap fertilizer, you are paying for it, right? Yeah. So Traore has given 400 tractors to farmers for free. Not paying anything, for free. He has given 239 motor pumps, 239 tillers to farmers for free. He has given 710 motor pumps for free. I'm telling you, no paying anything, for free. He has given 714 motorcycles to farmers for free, just to enhance and to increase the level of production in Burkina Faso. I'm not adding anything. Just think about that. Number 12, he provided access to improved seeds and other farm inputs to maximize agricultural output. Number 13, tomato production in Burkina Faso increased from 315 metric tons in 2022 to 360 metric tons in 2024. Number 14, millet production rose from 907,000 metric tons in 2022 to 1.1 million, my friend, to 1.1 million metric tons in 2024. Those are just 2 years we're talking about. We're only on the 2 years achievement. We've not had 2025 because it has just begun, and he has already begun doing great things. Okay? We are only talking about 2 years. He has been able to do all that. Another achievement, number 15, rice production increased from 280 metric tons in 2022 to 326 metric tons in 2024. That is rice production increase. The other one was millet production increase. Okay? Number 16, he banned French military operations. These issues of French military operations are what also is killing Africans. In Kenya, we have US military. They're having camps in Kenya. And in these many other countries, we have these militaries in their countries. What are they doing there? Their work is to compromise and to interfere with the issues of the state. They come with their issues, they come with their own things, they come with a system of governing, they want to rule even the government, they want to tell the government what to do, they want to tell the head of state what to do, and we end up not even fulfilling our agendas because we are under control of a foreign military. We are under control of someone who is from foreign country. And that is why Traore said, I am going to take these people out. And that is why France had to go out. That is one of the greatest achievement. Greatest achievement. That is why you'll realize a few leaders have done that. Some haven't. A few have done. Many have not, because it's very difficult. Number 17, he banned French media in Burkina Faso. Let me tell you the consequences of having a foreign media in your country. Having a foreign media in your country, it means they will reporting to the world things that are not. If you're doing better and they don't want you to do better, they begin reporting bad towards you. If you're doing something that irritates them and they don't want you to do that, they start reporting. They use their media that is in your country to start reporting things that are not true. That is why that's the consequences of having foreign media in your country. And Traore said, I'm taking it out. That's an achievement. Number 18, he expelled French troops from Burkina Faso. Number 19, his government is constructing new roads, widening existing ones, and upgrading gravel roads to paved surfaces. Number 20, he is building a new airport, the Ouagadougou Docine Airport, which is expected to be completed in 2025 with a capacity to handle 1 million passengers annually. That is what Ibrahim Traore is doing. Tell me in the comment section, when was your country build a new airport? You were born and found airports being there, up to date they're still being there. You just hear we are renovating and some things like that. So some even don't even get renovated. Like the Kenya JKIA, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Kenya is not even renovated. And we've never had where president comes into the seat and decides to build another airport. Okay? Their work is just to eat money, to take the money to eat the taxes of the people and splash money all over aimlessly. That is what they are doing. Tell me in the comment section if your country has built an airport recently. And the big question remains, you have seen all the achievements, a number of 20 achievements Ibrahim Traore has made in the span of 2 years, and they are just greatest achievements only. We have many other we have not mentioned. Ibrahim Traore is building schools. Ibrahim Traore is building hospitals. Ibrahim Traore is doing a lot of things, We can't mention all of them, because if you have to mention all of them, we shall remain here the whole day. So we don't have to mention all of them. He is doing a lot of things. The biggest question remains, how or which any other African leader has been able to do the same achievements that Ibrahim Traore has been able to do in a span of 2 years? How many African leaders do you know who can be able to do that? How many have done that so far? That is just to prove to you that Africa is in trouble, and the person who has come to the rescue of Africa is Ibrahim Traore. He is a man on the mission, and his mission is to rescue Africa. Sooner or later, Africa is going to be a great country, a great continent. Sooner or later, Africa is going to retain and to get back its freedom. Sooner or later, Africa is going to be at its prime once again. Under the hands of the king of Africa, Ibrahim Traore, the captain himself, the man of all men, like the man of Africa, the king of kings, who is in Africa today. Out of this man, we are calling him Messiah, because he came to save Africans. He came to save us to snatch us from the mouths of the predators. Under his connection or his direction, under his rules, under his steps, we are going to become the greatest continent ever in the world, as we have always been, but they have tried to make us look like we are not. Under him, that's where we are going to be. Tell me what you think on the comment section. I'll do my best to make sure I'm reading all of them and reply where possible. I am the African Streamline, and this is your place to be. Adios, muchachos, my great people. Let's continue praying for Ibrahim Traore, the king of Africa.